Hello everybody, Carl here. Got my son Asa on the guitar.
Hey everybody.
And we're going to have a lot of fun playing Old Jimmy Sutton on the mandolin. And it's got a D part and an A part. So the key of D and the key of A, which is good to keep in mind. It starts with a D like a fiddle does potatoes, but it goes right to the A chord. So that'll be helpful to know. And hang on to your hats. Let's have fun. We're playing Old Jimmy Sutton. Here we go. Old Jimmy Sutton. We went a little bit all over the place there, as Jimmy Sutton used to do. So thank you, Asa. Great job on the guitar. I'll slide in here. We'll work on a little bit of melody work and maybe a little bit of backup too. So let's just talk about the backup. The chords there for a second. Like I say, one part is you want to make some D backup sounds. The other part's A. And a lot of guitar players might just play mostly D for that D part and mostly A chord with some bass walks there. So on the mandolin, why don't we just get something kind of easy to grasp and fun to play. The 7th fret on the bass string with the open 3rd string. That's just a same note on both strings called a unison. So I'm just going to make that my feature and do a little bass walk up 4, 6, 7 for my D sound. You could even start with that climb, top of the scale, and do it a few times. 4, 6, 7, and then we'll have a little phrase on the 5, 4, 2 on the middle strings there. It's the 2nd fret at the wind up on the 3rd string. So those two together, start of the D chord part, and you climb again. Then the 3rd string, it's a 5, 4, 2, slide if you like 7, climb up again, and again that 3rd string, it's the 5, 4, 2. And then going to the A part, let's do the same thing for the middle strings. The 3rd string, 7th fret, gives you that A unison on the middle strings. This time we'll climb again, but we're going to use that 5th fret instead of the 6th fret for our climbing note because it's a bluesier part in a way. So 7 unison and climb, 4, 5, 7, okay, down to 2 and 7, and 4, 5, 7. Using that same back to D part, and the 4, 6, 7, right? You get the idea. And down 2nd fret. Now it's the 3rd string for the A middle strings. 4, 5, 7. Down to the 2, 7. The idea, and they end on the D part, somewhere there. So one other thing I'll mention for that D sound, that 7th fret with the open 3rd string, and you can reach up with the 1st finger and put it on that 4th fret and get a nice, which is kind of getting to the melody territory. So you can do that kind of thing too. Get a little more moving in there. You can do that little, what I call a middle reach. Anyway, so you have D, G, A, D for an ending or something there. So that's a good little, gets you in the ballpark for some stuff to try. Just doing a drone or open string with the fretted strings. A great mandolin technique. So let's start looking at the melody for a second. I'll play it on the high strings first. And we're going to start with that A chord part. And it's going to be up to that 5th fret. And we'll get a nice rhythm, just the downbeat is going to be a down pick, and if you do the shorter notes with the up pick, That's the rhythm that starts it there. So it's the 5th fret, 1st string, and it's down, down, up, down, down, up, down. Let's do that a couple times. Boom. Then we're going to have a phrase that's used several times, going down to the open 1st string, and then it descends to 5 and 4 on the 2nd. And I'm picking that down, up, down. 1st string open, 5th fret, and 4th fret. And then you can really go back up to the open 1st string to get back up to square 1. So let me do those together. And then it's going to go up to, okay, and you can do more or less notes a lot of this. Let me do those two together and see what Jimmy Sutton wants to hear. So I think it's sort of like that rhythm we had, down to that 4th fret, and we're going to climb up. That's kind of the basic thing. Back to the 1st phrase again. Then the last time you go 5 and 7, 5, and that same. And we're going to go to the D phrase. So let me do that, the A chord part one more time. 1, 2, 5th fret, down, down, up, down, and 4th fret, 2nd string, climbing up to a bluesy phrase. 1st phrase again. This time we're going to slide up to that 7, 5. Then we're going to go to that 5th fret, D note on the 2nd string, and your 1st string is going to be your 1st finger, what I call a middle reach. You got your name of your chord on the 5th fret, and then the 1st finger is a nice major note. So we're going to be working that 2nd string and 1st string back and forth. That's going to be our phrase. You get kind of a D pattern and then an A sounding pattern. So that's the basic thing. We're going to put a little more double picking in there. It's going to be like, and we can add that same little phrase there. But I'm also going to add an open 1st string note some. It's going to be like, and you can get kind of strummy with that to the bluesy phrase we already had. So let me do that D part again and get used to kind of hearing a D phrase sound and an A phrase, although the backup person might just do D all the way through, which sounds great too. The backup is a whole, you'll have 5 different guitar players or backup people play a little bit different, backup. So there's a real art to that, and everybody has a little bit of their uniqueness in the way they play a backup for a tune, which is great. So let's do that D phrase again. So it starts with the 5th fret, the 1st string, then you open, climb, down to that little 4th fret, bluesy notes, different ways you can do that. Okay, and notice sometimes I might go, or a lot of possibilities there in varying just a few notes. The rhythm and just doing more upbeats or less, longer notes or shorter notes makes a big difference. Let's look at the same melody for a moment on the low strings, right? So we're back to the A chord part. So now instead of the 5th fret, a really nice thing about the mandolin is, if you want the same note 2 strings over, it's going to be an octave. It's going to be the 7th fret, mainly because you have an E string on the 1st string, and then you have a D string, which is 1 letter apart or 2 frets skewed, you might say. So a little scoot. So the 5th fret on the 1st string is going to be the same note on the 7th fret. So there's where we're going to start. 2 strings over, an octave. If you play them together, you could hear that's a low and a high version of the same note. So you could do the same thing from your 2nd to 4th string for D. A very good thing to start thinking about if you hadn't played mandolin too long. That's a really good, helpful theory little thing to start applying. So here's that 7th fret in that same rhythm, and now go down to, you could go either 2, open, 6, right? So I'll try that. And I think a lot of times on the high I might be doing that, but I think I'm going to go to that 2 and open. And then the bluesy 7 the first phrase again, down to that 2 open and the 6th fret low. Then we have that nice slide up. Nice. And then we're going to go to the 7th fret. And this time, remember that middle reach we had on 5 and 2 on the high strings is going to be 7 and 4 here. Open 4, open 4. That same 2 open, low 6. Bluesy phrase. Experiment a little bit. That bluesy phrase. 2, 4, 6, 4, 2, and then you're back to the A part, right? I'll do it low one more time. 7, 2 open to the 6th fret. 7 bluesy phrase. 2, 4, 6, 4 down to 6. Open 4. That same little maneuver. Bluesy phrase. One more time high. Can vary. And you didn't know this part, maybe with and you could hit a little bar 7, 7 and get that 9th fret on the 2nd string. A nice little D chord there. A great tune, and you really start to see the layout of playing on the high strings and the same melody jumping over to the low strings. So it's a really great thing to try on any melody or song, you know. If somebody wants you to take a break on a song and you play it high, it's great to be able to come back around and play it low when the circle comes back your way. So Old Jimmy Sutton's been a favorite around here for a long time in Virginia and North Carolina. So I hope you enjoy it. And I'll put the words in with the tab probably for the guitar. So you can try to sing it if you like. You can watch the other videos and see how that works a little bit too. And watch all the great videos you can find on YouTube, you know, of Wade Ward and Kyle Cree, Tommy Gerald fiddling, of course, and just Fred Cochran, all those folks, all the masters that played it back in the day. And we'll keep that song going. So enjoy Old Jimmy Sutton.